This is a really nice bar model problem here. Ricky, Sunita and Tamzin share £1,064. Ricky spends a fifth of his money, Sunita spends half of her share, and Tamzin spends a third of her share. They each have the same amount remaining, and we're asked how much did they spend in total. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is start by drawing a bar for Ricky. Okay, so we'll start, there's Ricky, and I'm going to draw his bar, and we're told he spends a fifth of his money, so I'm going to give him a bar that I can divide into fifths. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we're told that he spends 1/5 of his money. Okay, so this is what he spends, and this bit is what is left. Okay, left, which happens to be 4/5. Okay, spent 1/5. Okay, now let's move on to Sunita. So let's draw a bar for Sunita. Sunita spends a half of her share. Okay, so whatever amount of money she had, she spent a half of it, but remember that she ended up with the same amount of money as Ricky ended up with, and we know how much Ricky has left. So I can draw a bar for Sunita. This is what Sunita has left, and if she spent half of her money, then she must have the same size bar again for what was spent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is what Sunita spent. All right, so there we go. So spent and left, which is half and half. Okay, and then same again for Tamzin. Okay, we are told again, so Tamzin spends a third of her share, so she spent a third of her original amount, which means she was left with 2/3, and she's also left with the same amount as Ricky and Sunita. So let's draw a bar. This is what was left, and we know that that must equal 2/3. So left is 2/3. Okay, so I must be able to, if I split that, that's 2, that's 2/3. So this is the third that was spent. Okay, so okay, so now we can see, and it's actually quite a simple one, isn't it? Because I haven't had to find common denominators or anything like that. It's all very easy. Okay, so what are we asked? How much did they spend in total? All right, so let's put the amounts in there. We've got 1,064, so that's what they had in the beginning. Okay, so all of this is 1,064. Okay, and we need to then divide that by the number of these equal size portions. Okay, so we know that there's 5 here, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we need to divide this by 19, and as if by magic, I'm going to not do this in my head, I did it earlier. So that gives us 56. Okay, so 1,064 divided by 19 gives us 56. So I now know that each of these portions, right, all of these, each of these is worth 56. Okay, and I could then work out anything. I could work out how much Ricky has now, what he had to begin with, the same with all of them. But what we're actually asked is how much did they spend in total, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 56. So how much did they spend in total? 56 times 7, because that's what was spent. That's all of those. And 56 times 7 is 392. So that's what they spent in total. Okay.